Hello! We are up to talk number 14 in Paris Talks given by Abdu'l-Baha in 1911. So, talk number 14 was given at 4 Avenue de Camoens on October 27th, titled The Benefits of God to Man. God alone ordereth all things, and is all powerful. Why then does he send trials to his servants? The trials of man are of two kinds. A. The consequences of his own actions. If a man eats too much, he ruins his digestion. If he takes poison, he becomes ill or dies. If a person gambles, he will lose his money. If he drinks too much, he will lose his equilibrium. All these sufferings are caused by the man himself. It is quite clear, therefore, that certain sorrows are the result of our own deeds. B. Other sufferings there are, which come upon the faithful of God. Consider the great sorrows endured by Christ and by his apostles. Those who suffer most attain to the greatest perfection. Those who declare a wish to suffer much for Christ's sake must prove their sincerity. Those who proclaim their longing to make great sacrifices can only prove their truth by their deeds. Job proved the fidelity of his love for God by being faithful through his great adversity, as well as during the prosperity of his life. The apostles of Christ, who steadfastly bore all their trials and sufferings, did they not prove their faithfulness? Was not their endurance the best proof? These griefs are now ended. Caiaphas lived a comfortable and happy life, while Peter's life was full of sorrow and trial. Which of these two is the more enviable? Assuredly, we should choose the present state of Peter, for he possesses immortal life, whilst Caiaphas has one eternal shame. The trials of Peter tested his fidelity. Tests are benefits from God, for which we should thank him. Grief and sorrow do not come to us by chance. They are sent to us by the divine mercy for our own perfecting. While a man is happy, he may forget his God, but when grief comes and sorrows overwhelm him, then will he remember his Father who is in heaven and who is able to deliver him from his humiliations. Men who suffer not attain no perfection. The plant most pruned by the gardeners is that one which, when the summer comes, will have the most beautiful blossoms and the most abundant fruit. The laborer cuts up the earth with his plough, and from that earth comes the rich and plentiful harvest. The more a man is chastened, the greater is the harvest of spiritual virtues shown forth by him. A soldier is no good general until he has been in the front of the fiercest battle and has received the deepest wounds. The prayer of the prophets of God has always been, and still is, O God, I long to lay down my life in the path to thee. I desire to shed my blood for thee and to make the supreme sacrifice. These words can sound a little bit like harsh and strong, like sacrifice and that like trials are benefits from God and all these things, but it's also the language. I always try to see beyond the actual physicality of the language and how it can come across as a little bit strong, and soften it to think that, just reflect on my own experiences and things that I've been through personally. Even though in the moment it's like, why, like how much more of this can I take, and why do I have to keep going through the same cycles or similar patterns, or just pains and griefs, and or seeing, the real loved ones that are like the purest souls go through tribulations that just doesn't make sense, like why. But I really do see like the the faith and the chiselness that comes out of that, because it's like that quote, this too shall pass. um and it's just thinking that, these things do pass, even though they leave a mark, or they hurt, and they, cause us a lot of pain and suffering. It's not that when it's happening we don't acknowledge it and we just say, oh, like, whatever, this too shall pass, and like we become indifferent and almost like just not care about it, and numb. It's not about that, because I don't really use that phrase anyways, that quote. It's just what came to me in this moment. But it's more about how we stay present through it. And no matter how many times there's grief or pain, and it doesn't even have to be external, it can just be your inner turmoil, just your own doubts, your own insecurities, the things that keep arising within you when you want to push past your comfort and do something and live the life that you want to live and create. That takes a lot, and it is a lot of resistance, so much resistance. And it makes you think, like, can I even do this, or what is my purpose? Like, what's the point of this life if I keep hitting this same block or this same pattern or this same cycle? And it's really about pushing, trying to push through that, but it doesn't necessarily work that way. It's really about coming back to that faith and understanding that, okay, this is literally part of my pruning. It's part of my rebirthing in different stages of my life, given everything that I've experienced to date and will continue to in different ways. But just realizing that every time I have come out of a real dark period of sadness within, or feelings of lostness, feeling lost, isolated, which there's a difference between isolation and solitude, healthy solitude. But when you start to notice the difference, and that you're leaning into this isolation where there's no will for life, or even things that you like once inspired or sparked, happiness or joy, like there's nothing there, and you're like, ooh, this is getting a little bit scary now, because how do you start to move out of that when you're so deep in it, But it's during all of the times, during the happy times, during the sad times, all the spectrums and the scales of emotions that we experience, we choose to remember God, we choose to remember Source and our faith in life, and then there is something bigger than us, and we are here on this earth to experience all of it. And yet, some may have it easy, and some have it really hard, and some experience it all, But through it all, the ones I've seen that keep their faith strong, no matter what, there's just such a deep trust in life and in God and in just what is unraveling, that it's like, okay, how can I continue to feel all of the heaviness with softness, all of the grief in all of it, the depth and the ugly crying, all of it, and still hold that anchoring underneath all of it, that knowing underneath all of it that you're okay and you will be okay, even though it doesn't feel like it, because there's that deeper trust in this all-knowing source of power that's beyond our knowing. And yeah, it's really powerful when you traverse and play and dance with life, because it doesn't mean you don't feel all the lows. You feel it, and you feel it hard. Like, you feel it really hard because you feel all of it. When you feel the highs and the joys and the happiness of life to that extreme, and to that just that blissfulness, you also feel the real grief and depth and layers of life at the same time. And there is a beauty in that, and my friends have shared that with me, that when you feel it all, like, you really are experiencing the richness of life to its fullest. And like, how else would you do it, numbing, hiding away, not doing anything, isolating because it's safer, it's more comfortable. What's the point? Yeah, all those things are very naturally to rise. But I think it just shows that you get to decide, you get to choose in those moments to feel it all and know that this isn't it, versus just sinking to it and letting it take over. Yeah, but honestly, at the underneath all of it, it's just that deep trust and faith that, yeah, we are here to suffer. Yeah, what kind of thing was that? Anyways, that was really nah. But yeah, it's not necessarily about that. It's just yeah. I mean, we're here to harvest spiritual virtues, and that will only come through our experiences. How we can really refine our virtues and our character through all the experiences that are presented to us. Because we can be so patient and loving and kind when we're in a good place, right? But if something happens to like tip us off balance and we're in sadness, are we projecting onto others? Are we being unkind? Are we being short? Are we being cold? Or do we continue to, express how we're feeling in certain, positions, and gather support through it all, but also um, ensure that, those around you are aware that maybe it isn't, it's a little bit of a tougher time. And you're expressing that and still choosing to show up in a way that gets to feel it, but still is loving. This is part of our refinement. And it's not easy, but it's beautiful. It really is, when you really cherish all of it. All of it. Yeah. Continue to reflect more on this because it's such a big topic and there's so many aspects to it and interpretations and language around this. But yeah, we continue to just love and hold that softness underneath all of it. So much love to everyone and all of you. Love you all, and I'm excited to continue this reading space and reflection space together, even though it feels one way, but we're sharing it. And yeah, please, I'd love to hear anything. Any thoughts and things that come up for you as well is beautiful. So much love, and bye for now.